Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Sucho322 here, and I'm your... Nope, already messed it up. Anyways, not going to do editing, not going to restart the video. Try it again. Yo, what is going on, fans, coaches of the ASL? My name is Sucho322 here, and I am bringing you guys the ASL Season 6, Week 6 weekly recap. Very late, but been very IRL busy, so that's just how it's going to be. Just being a lot busier recently, so if videos are late, such as weekly recap, then that's probably why. We didn't have transactions this week again, so you don't have to worry about that. Power rankings should be on time. Top plays might be a little bit late, so that's pretty much what we got going on. And yeah, sorry about that. I'll try and mute myself as best as I can. I'm still a little bit sick, but yeah, let's go ahead and hop into this. So we have a 5-0, 4-0, 4-0, 6-0, 5-0, 3-0, and a 1-0. So very decisive matches this week. And with the first match, we have the Philadelphia Flygons taking on the Winters Weavals. Bish is going to get a nice 5-0 victory, coming off of 6 kills with a weekly hero in Thunderous Incarnate. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So we have Mega Beedrill leading out against the Scrafty, which is going to get an Intimidate off, and then Ferret is going to go out into his Torkoal, which is going to take absolutely nothing for the U-turn, and is going to get off some Rocky Helmet damage. So, outcoming the Slow King, it's going to try and soak up any fire hit, but can go for a Flamethrower of its own, taking advantage of that Sun. Vish is going to go out into his Pessimian. It's going to take that knockoff really well. Unfortunately, he's going to lose his Life Orb in the process, but he's going to be able to get off a nice close combat into this Mega Venusaur, and can proceed to go for a U-turn on the following turn. So he's going to go for a U-turn now. He's going to get out of there. He's going to go into the Mega Beedrill. He doesn't really fear a potential Hidden Power Fire, since it wouldn't make sense. Hidden Power Ground is the much more likely bring. And Vish is going to U-turn into his Thunderous, as the Mega Venusaur is going to go for the Synthesis. So I'm going to guess that this is a Assault Vested X-Cloud, but the Thunderous doesn't care. It's going to go for a Nasty Plot into Gigavolt Havoc. It's going to do a lot of damage, and then out comes the Haxorus. Vish is just going to go for a Hidden Power. I want to guess that that's Hidden Power Flying. That would make the most sense to me. This Haxorus does get a nice kill with the Devastating Drake, but this does allow the Zygarde to come out and just click Extreme Speed. And that's exactly what Zygarde does, and that looks to be banded damage to me. So Vish is going to go out into his Pessimian. It takes any one hit for sure, and can put on some pressure, or he can just U-turn out expecting the Venusaur. He is going to U-turn though, expecting Venusaur, and Ferret is in a little bit of an interesting situation. So Vish goes for the Nasty Plot, and Ferret has to fear the Hidden Power Flying here, but it just doesn't matter. His Scrafty is going to go down either way. Out comes the Mega Venusaur, Hidden Power Flying, and down it goes, and really nothing's going to live at this point. So out comes the Celesteela, which is Wakanberry. Does not even matter due to the Nasty Plot. Out comes the Torkoal. There's very low likelihood that this lives. Does not. And Haxorus comes out. We already saw it was a D-Dance variant, so it does not outspeed. And Thunderous Incarnate is going to make quick work of White Ferret's team in under 20 turns, and that is going to be the game. The Winters Weavile are going to win 5-0 over the Philadelphia Flygons. So for the next match, we have the St. Louis Swablues and the Jersey Justice. We have our second weekly hero of the week in this match with Mega Deontay picking up a clean 4 kills, as Milan comes into a commanding record at 4-2, and Malone is going to be set back to 2-4. Take a little drink. We have Slurpuff and Garchomp leading out, and Malone is going to opt to get off his Sticky Webs really early. And the Cofagrigus just doesn't care. It's going to set up a Nasty Plot, as Malone is going to go into his Skuntank, but Milan makes the double into Garchomp. So Milan making really good plays so far. He's going to be able to get up his rocks for essentially free, and then can Earthquake on the following turn. But this Lickitung is going to take absolutely 0 damage from that. And Lickitung can go ahead and go for the Toxic onto the Shaman. But if Shaman does opt to switch out, it will get off that Natural Cure. So the Lickitung is going to be poisoned of itself, and Skuntank is going to come out, and Shaman goes for the Seed Flare, which is not going to do anything, and this Wish is going to bring Skuntank up to a healthy amount of health. And the Shaman has got to go out into the Garchomp. Does not want to take a Poison Jab here, but Malone is packing the Taunt. Potentially thought Deontay might come out and try and set up a Rock Polish, but the Slowbro comes out on the Garchomp and the Slowbro is going to go for the Scald. So out comes the Skuntank, and Cryogonal is going to go for the Rapid Spin. And out comes Garchomp. Garchomp is a really easy swap into the Skuntank. It puts on a lot of pressure on Malone's team. Milan is going to opt to get his rocks back up. He wants to try and pressure the Thundurus if that thing ever comes out. And this Lickitung, would you know it, packs Heal Bell. So out comes the Shaman as the Wish is going to go up again from Lickitung, just trying to heal itself up. It's going to go for the Toxic. And is going to catch the Garchomp. So out comes the Shaman. This is a really, really stally war at this point. It's just Wish stalling. And Malone has Heal Bell and Wish. So yay, productive games. So Seed Flare is going to hit this Slurpuff for some really good damage. It's going to activate its Citrus Berry, which is going to be very beneficial for Milan, because Malone does not have that Unburden for later in the match. So Shaman is just going to Seed Flare again, possibly trying to predict the swap. Malone is going to play it really straightforward and just stays in. It's interesting. Oh no, the Shaman had its speed dropped. I was going to say, how's Shaman outspeeding right now? But Shaman is going to use this Natural Cure, so Milan bringing a really good set. Rest is very good on Shaman. And the Garchomp is going to be sitting out against the Kartana. I imagine Milan has something like Flamethrower, so he doesn't care. Yes, he does have Flamethrower. And Malone is going to be sitting in with his Lickitung again. Alright, I say this in every part where teams play Stally. Every replay is down below, but this is really boring. So we're going to see a Toxic. I'm actually just going to speed up the game speed. So we're going to see some Heal Bells coming off. It's going to get wished back. Toxic. It's just a PP stall at this point. So out comes the Skuntank. It's going to be trying. It's going to try and be wished back up. But the Skuntank's in an interesting position, especially if the Shaman does have the Earth Power. It's going to go for what I would assume to be Hidden Power Fire. Shaman goes. Shaman is taunted. Goes for a Seed Flare. Shaman lives on 1 and then goes for a Hidden Power Fire. So Shaman is putting in the most right now. And out comes a Leaf Blade, is going to kill this thing. Okay, so I think we're finally at a good part of the battle. But Kartana is going to come out. And Slowking, or not Slowking, my bad, Slowbro is going to be the optimal swap into this Volcanion. It's actually going to take a lot of damage from that, and Psychic is not going to be doing a whole ton back to Volcanion. So Slowbro does go for Slack Off, and Malone is obviously not going for the Mega Evolve because he wants to keep the Regenerator intact. I don't really feel that it's worth it, but you know, it's whatever. And he goes out into his Slurpuff trying to sack it, but the Steam Eruption is going to make it so Malone is able to get off a Heal Bell, which is very beneficial for his fact. And Milan is going to go for the Z Haze, healing himself up, and is going to remove the speed drop, but Slurpuff still does outspeed it. But Milan is sitting at a comfortable 5-4 at this point, as Thundurus is going to double into the Kartana, probably trying to bait in the Cryogonal. That's not going to work in Malone's favor, so sorry about that, but you kind of lose now. Because Kartana dies to Ice Shard if this Cryo has it. I don't know if he has it, but you know, it's just a thing. So Freeze Dry coming out from Cryogonal. If he wishes, I'm going to go ahead and fast. Okay, thanks. So we're going to see a Freeze Dry coming out here. We're going to see a Toxic from the Lickitung. It's just really boring wish play. You can obviously tell that I hate stall. So Wish. In comes Garchomp, goes into Cryo. Here's the Slowbro, goes into Lickitung again. Malone, please. Please. Oh my god, dude. Okay, wishes again, goes Garchomp, it's gonna sack the Kartana. Goes Slowbro, Earthquake. I'm dying, guys. I'm dying. So Milan is going to get a nice little Earthquake, whatchamacallit crit there, which is going to force the Slowbro out, but it still does have Regenerator intact. Milan is just annoyed. He's just going to go with this. Jesus, Malone. Just so dumb. So Deontay's going to come out now, and Deontay's going to set up a Rock Polish. And this Lickitung is finally going to see the error of its ways. Thank God. That thing is annoying. And we can pretty much speed up this process and end the game. Hopefully. Moonblast is going to do a lot. It's going to wish. Jesus. Milan, please. Okay. If you guys wanted to see the end of that, then you can go ahead and look at it down below. I'm not going to sit through that. That's just boring. I guarantee you at least half the turns were a Milan clicking Wish or Protect. So, yeah. That's going to be a 4-0 win. Jersey Justice over the St. Louis Blues. So, next up we have the Silverhemians versus the PC Barcelona. No weekly heroes in this match, but we do have TJ winning 4-0 over Shadow. So we have Registeel against Nidoking, and Shadow is going to be in a really good position starting out, but TJ is going to counteract that with going into his Uxie and pretty much returning the favor to get up rocks for free. He's then going to go out into his Suicune, which is going to take that crunch relatively well. If Shadow does opt to Mega Evolve, the Suicune could be in trouble. But the Suicune goes for a Signal Beam, so interesting that we're not seeing something like a Hidden Barrel Electric. And we're going to see the red card force it into the Mega Gallade, which is not beneficial in the slightest for the Tentacruel. It's going to be very bad for it. And the Staraptor is going to go for a U-turn, getting out into the Zeraora. Possibly wanting to go for a close combat, but goes for the bulk up instead. And Shadow's going to go right out into his Sharpedo. Interesting decision considering Sharpedo is extremely frail and is going to die immediately to that thing. So Shadow's already on the back foot 6-4. But he is going to be able to get up the Veil here and is going to have a really hard time breaking through this Registeel at this point. But it does look like TJ is going to be forced to just keep clicking Earthquakes. So Shadow's going to get a lot of damage into this Registeel, but at the cost of his Ninetales. So Shadow is going to just opt to go for another hit. Goes for the Moonblast, and the Iapapa Berry is going to pop for the Registeel. So very, very unfortunate for Shadow. He's going to get essentially nothing out of that other than the fact that he popped the Iapapa, and it wouldn't have popped at that stage. So the Registeel is going to kill off the Zeraora too, so TJ sitting in a fantastic position, and Shadow will finally be able to force that thing out, and then can go for a Shadow Ball and goes for the Thunderbolt, trying to predict something like Suicune to come out, but Nidoking is just going to get the Shadow Ball kill, and then is going to die to the Sand Slash on the following turn. But Shadow does go out into his Staraptor as long as there is no Rock move, but the Rock move does miss, so Staraptor can go for the Double Edge and can essentially make it so this is going to be a 4-0 game instead of a 5-0 game, so that's pretty neat. And yeah, so out comes the Mega Gallade. Obviously this isn't going to kill. I know Nidoking hits really hard, but Gallade has really good special defense. So out comes the Staraptor now, and Staraptor can go ahead and go for the close combat, which will be able to easily two-shot this Kyurem, and then down goes the Kyurem, and then TJ can just go out into something like Suicune or Sand Slash or all that good stuff, and just pick off the Staraptor. So that's what he's going to do. Close combat's not going to kill. Not even a super mega crit would have killed, and that is going to be the game. The Silverhemians are going to win 4-0 over the PC Barcelona. So for the next match, we got Big Darmanitan getting 6 kills against AZ as TCP is going to 6-0 AZ, and let's check it. So we have Landorus Therian against a Melodic, which is going to heavily favor the Melodic for obvious reasons. And the Melodic is going to go for a Magic Code, expecting Lando to just set up the rocks, which is interesting for TCP because I would not set up rocks with my Lando against the Melodic personally. But Jolteon is going to be sitting here trying to baton pass the sub. The Sludge Bomb crit did not matter in terms of breaking the sub, but the Scyther is going to get up the Swords Dance regardless, and AZ is going to go out into his Incineroar, but Darm is going to get the Adrenaline Orb off and goes for the Belly Drum. So show me your switch-ins. They don't exist, my friend. So Darm has the Protect. TCP is actually balling out here. He has the Protect for the Fake Out. That's actual heat. And he has Fire Punch instead of Flare Blitz. TCP was ready. He was ready. And AZ is just going to go for the Dragon Punch because, you know, why not? And that's probably a thick, fat Miltank. So, you know, it took one, but it's not going to matter. Down it goes. Out comes Landorus. That's still a +5 Darmanitan, and you're dead too. And it's going to be outspeeding everything because apparently AZ does not have a Scarfer, at least a Scarfer that is faster than Darmanitan. So Scarfer might have been Lando, but it's obviously not going to outspeed Darm. And that is going to be the game. Short and simple. The Hartford Whelmer is going to win 6-0 over the Houston Hoopas as Darmanitan is one of the weekly heroes. Damn, this is a really fast week. Oh my god. And for the last weekly hero, we have Mega Altaria getting 3 kills. I know I don't like to try and repeat, but I wanted to have 4 weekly heroes, so you know what? I can do that. Had to take a drink of water. But, yep, let's just go ahead and hop into it. So we have Jirachi against Drapion. And Jirachi can go ahead and go for a body slam right now. Ian is going to go for the pursuit, predicting the Jirachi to try and go out. The Jirachi is going to do what it does best and goes for the flinch. And Ian does not want to sacrifice any more health on his Drapion because he needs it for the Clefable. So he's going to go into his Slowbro, which is going to almost die to the Never-Ending Nightmare from Jirachi. And Ian does actually decide to save his Slowbro as Jirachi is going to U-turn out into the Alolan Muck. So Ian goes into his Cobalion on the Fire Punch. So Brett is making really good plays at this point, but he needs to start getting kills with those really good plays. So out comes the Stealth Rocks. The Gliscor is going to go for the U-turn into the Jellicent. And Jellicent is going to try and sponge up some hits. It's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp into the Amoonguss though, and is going to try and start chipping that down. Alolan Muck does come out as Drapion comes out. So 2 Poison Dark types, 2 of the 3 in Draft League formats. And Drapion is going to go for an Earthquake, and Gliscor can go up ahead and fire off an Earthquake of its own, but is going to go for the U-turn instead. Goes out into the Alolan Muck because Brett knows he can sponge any hit from this Amoonguss. And out comes the Slowbro, which apparently is not Regenerator. Don't know what Ian was going for there. Maybe he messed it up. But anyways, that's going to die, and Brett's going to be sitting up 6-5. But Milan does go for the Swords Dance on his Cobalion. And then immediately doubles out into Amoonguss because he cannot kill this Jellicent and does not want to take a Will-O-Wisp. So Jellicent goes for the Hex. Even burned, that does absolute pitiful damage to the Amoonguss, looking like an Assault Vested variant at this point. But out comes the Raikou to try and pressure out this Jellicent, as the Will-O-Wisp is going to miss. So a little unfortunate, but it would have only been 6% to be fair. The Muck is going to get off its Ayapapa Berry. Brett's in an interesting position because he kind of has to recycle here, but he's going to get paralyzed. He does get off the recycle, however, so next Thunderbolt is not going to be able to 2-coat due to getting the Ayapapa back. But this is a Calm Mind Raikou, and it is looking to do some work, ladies and gentlemen. That para is going to work heavily in Ian's favor, and he's going to crit him, so, you know, that works. Out comes Brett with the Clefable. It is unaware, so it's going to still take a lot, but, you know, at least it can kind of take it. So out goes the Raikou, in comes the Drapion, and Drapion is going to try and pressure out this Clefable. Brett's going to get crit again, so yeah, really not his week in terms of trying to stay alive. Hax is just not letting him do anything at this point. And Jirachi is going to be sitting in here, and it can get off one more attack before it goes down. It's going to go for the Iron Head, just like 19% to the Raikou, and Raikou is leftovers. So it'll get some of it back and goes for the Thunderbolt, gets rid of it. So Ian is up 5-3 at this point, so out comes the Gliscor, trying to put on some pressure. Earthquake is obviously not going to hit the Mega Altaria for any damage. Mega Altaria is going to go ahead and go for the return, which is going to two-shot this Gliscor, especially when it comes back in to take more rocks damage. So Gren is going to try and do something here. The Ice Beam is going to do just nothing to this Assault Vested Amoonguss. Amoonguss is a really, really hard thing to break. So the Gliscor is going to go for the Giga Drain. And out comes the Altaria, but Gliscor gets off the Defog, which is going to try and preserve some health on the Greninja, but the Jellicent is going to come out. It's going to die to another return. So that is going to be Altaria claiming a kill. Out comes the Greninja, and Ian is okay with taking an Ice Beam because he knows he lives. In return, is going to go ahead and knock out the Gren. So out comes the Gliscor, which the Altaria will kill, and that is going to be the game. Ian will win 5-0, and the Aussie Kangaskhan's will take their 5th win of the season. So for the next game, we have the Backyard Bowl, or the Bad Bowl, as they both call it. We have the Utah Hoots taking on the Denver Nummels. And we have Susie taking on Demaster. Classic matchup. As Susie's going to take this one 3-0 over Demaster. And let's go ahead and hop into it. So, first up we have Empoleon and Bronzong leading off. Going to be getting up both their rocks. A little mutual agreement to get up rocks, so it would seem. But this Empoleon is going to go ahead and roar out into the Minior. So Empoleon's feeling really good about this matchup. It can go ahead and go for a Scald, try and burn this Gyarados, as that is not going to be the case. So Demaster is going to get lucky with that, and is going to set up a D-Dance. But Susie does pack the Roar, and he's going to go ahead and click it. Gets out into the Bronzong, and this is a really advantageous position for Empoleon. But out comes the Misdreavus, and he's going to go for a Shadow Ball. Does a lot of damage to that Minior, and Power Gem is not going to do that much. And Misdreavus is actually going to get a kill. So out comes the Mamoswine. It can take hits from the Deontay really well, and Demaster's going to double into his Nidoking. Don't know how beneficial that's going to be considering it's a Mamoswine sitting in front of you. But we're going to see that this Bronzong is confirmed to levitate. It is not heat proof. And the Delphox is going to come in. It takes the Gyro Ball. It's not going to be too KO'd by it, so Delphox can go ahead and stay in and go for a Fire Blast, which does really, really solid damage to the Deontay. That looks choice specs if you ask me. And out comes the Nidoqueen, which will likely live the Fire Blast, which is why Demaster went into it. But he's going to double into the Mega Gyarados as Susie goes into his his Misdreavus. So out comes the Empoleon. The Gyarados sets up a Dragon Dance. And Gyarados is going to set up another Dragon Dance. I don't know what Demaster's doing. Is he throwing? Who knows? The Roar is right there. And out comes the Misdreavus. And the Earth Power is obviously not going to do anything. And Misdreavus can fire off a really powerful Shadow Ball, which does a solid 24%. Really respectable. And Misdreavus is going to set up a Nasty Plot as Nidoqueen just seems interested in setting up its spikes. And this Misdreavus is going to be doing some really good damage at this point. It's going to be able to 2-kill this thing with another Shadow Ball. And out comes the Gyarados. So Gyarados is going to be sitting at 37. Misdreavus is looking really powerful right now. But out comes the Empoleon, which is not going to be affected by anything but the rocks. And Empoleon's play is to just click Roar. So Demaster is finally going to kill it with a crit Earthquake. But out comes the Mamoswine, which is likely Scarfed. And Demaster is going to scout the Scarf with going into Bronzong. And out comes the Misdreavus, which the Bronzong is not going to kill due to it clicking Earthquake. And Susie's going to get off a nice little Shadow Ball before his little Misdreavus goes down. And then out comes the Delphox. Delphox is going to claim whatever comes in. Out comes the Gyarados. That's going to die. And or maybe not, because Shadow Ball is clicked. Okay, but still, it's 2 shots, that's for sure. So down goes the Gyarados. Susie does not have to worry about being swept, and all Blake has left is Bronzong and Mew, but all he has to deal with is Coco, Mamoswine, and Pitzer. Easier said than done. So Coco's finally going to hit the field and is going to go for a Wild Charge, gets rid of the Bronzong, and then out comes the Mew. It is Mew against the world at this point. And Wild Charge is going to do a nice 39%, and the Mew is going to go for a Roost. So Susie's in an interesting position because it's going to be really hard for him to kill this thing. But he's going to go for a Wild Charge and is actually going to kill. Wait, did Susie mess up? Susie messed up the dock input. Nice. All right, so it's a 2-0. It's a 2-0 instead. Feels weird, man. Feels weird, man. Okay, one sec. Before we move on, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this. Come on, people. Come on, people. It's a 2-0. Forgot to say that Delphox died. Where are we at here, fellas? Where are we at? Second to last. Kill for Delphox. Okay, now I have it on the actual dock. There's no point in putting it on here. Alright, so, yep, that's going to be the game 2-0. So, for the last game of the week, we have the Portland Timbers taking on the Chicago Conch Elders. Very, very close 1-0. The only real close game, I mean, I guess that was a 2-0 of the week. And let's go ahead and hop into it. So, we have Megalopony taking on the Rotom Wash. Megalopony is going to be able to get off A fake out pretty much for free, not really fearing anything. The Rocky Helmet is going to come out from the Mesprit. And then out comes the Lunatone on the Mesprit. As rocks are going to be set up for Mesprit, Mesprit's going to miss the Toxic as Lunatone is going to set up the Stealth Rocks. So out comes Toxic again. It's going to do some shenanigans as the Lunatone goes for the Ice Beam and Mesprit goes for the U-turn. Out comes the Rotom on the Ice Beam, which is going to take nothing, and Leftovers is pretty much going to replenish anything that it lost from the Ice Beam. And then out comes the Latios, trying to take advantage of this Rotom being in. Latios is going to be Toxic though, so that's going to be unfortunate for its survivability. And this Aromatisse is going to be able to take the Side Shock very, very well coming out from Latios. As Crobat is going to come in, the Aromatisse does click Wish and is going to try and heal up this Mesprit, and Crobat tries to go for the Super Fang to try and chip this thing down, but it's going to be no use. Crobat is going to hard swap out into the Togekiss, which is going to take a Psychic from Mesprit, and then going to go for the Nasty Plot. Mesprit cannot land Toxics today. That is not going to be its best attribute, and Togekiss is going to go for the Aura Sphere as a crit will come out here. A crit and Air Slash will be able to kill the Aromatisse on the following turn, so Togekiss will start this game out 6-5. And Togekiss is going to live the Hurricane and is going to go for the Roost. So now the Mega Pidgeot is kind of playing with fire whether I click a move or not. And the Togekiss does go for our Roost and is going to keep roosting up. This Mega Pidgeot goes for a Hurricane, and then Togekiss hits itself in Confusion. And yeah, there's all the progress gone. So now Lunatone will be sacked off here, as the Pidgeot can now kill it with a Hurricane or U-turn or all that good stuff. But Ice Beam is going to freeze the Mega Pidgeot, because why not? I'm the freeze god. I should be able to freeze people. So out comes Moonlight from the Lunatone, and the Burb is going to stay frozen solid, and the Ice Beam is going to be able to kill it. After it's frozen for like 3 turns, its Side Shock will be able to kill it. So I'm up 6-4 at this point. I'm actually hacking Dave to the moon and back. Haha. See what I did there? So Lunatone is going to die to the 1,000 arrows. And out comes the Quagsire to take on this Zygarde. And Mesprit is going to come out, which is going to dodge a Toxic, which is really huge. But he dodged, or he got frozen. I dodged a lot of Toxic. I missed Toxic again. So we're pretty much even at this point. I would say at least. So Crobat is going to come in, is going to die to the Psychic, and we are immediately back to 4-4. So Togekiss is going to come out. Togekiss goes for the Roost, and Mesprit is going to land the Toxic this time, as Togekiss can opt to just go for an Aura Sphere or Nasty Plot. It does go for a Nasty Plot, however, and Psychic is going to knock it a little low. And then Togekiss can go ahead and go for an Air Slash at this point. It does solid damage to the Rotom, but nothing crazy. And on the following turn, Togekiss is going to go for the Roost, as Rotom goes for the Hydro Pump. Gets a crit, which is really unfortunate, so Dave is really balancing the hacks at this point. And going to go for the Air Slash just for the YOLO onto the Mesprit. And down goes Togekiss. So Dave is up 4-3. God, can I stop coughing? Okay, so Mega Lopunny is going to be able to two-shot this Mesprit at this point. Boom, boom, down it goes. So Mega Lopunny is sitting just under half, as out comes the Infernape, is going to threaten out Mega Lopunny with a potential Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave. It's going to have the Mach Punch, as Quagsire can come in and take it, and then Quagsire is going to just die to the Grass Dot outright. And so out comes Latios. Latios can go ahead and pressure it out with a Psy Shock, which is going to be able to kill the Rotom, but Dave is going to let it go down. He's just going to say the Rotom doesn't matter because I've got a Zygarde, and is going to go out into Zygarde. As Latios comes out, Mega Lopunny goes in, and Zygarde is going to set up a Dragon Dance. Now Mega Lopunny is going to go for a Fake Out. Mega Lopunny is essentially going to prevent this Zygarde from being able to set up a second Dragon Dance. Latios is going to come out. Latios is going to go for the Dragon Pulse, which is going to get rid of the Zygarde. And it comes down to whether or not this Latios is able to kill the Infernape. And the Infernape does not kill with Mach Punch. And as it would seem, Dragon Pulse is going to let the Infernape live on 3. So, by 3 whole %, that is going to be the game. The Chicago Conch Elders are going to win 1-0 over the Portland Timbers. So that is going to be the video, guys. Thank you guys all for watching. I know it was really late, but like I said, IRL stuff has been really busy. But yeah, videos should be relatively on time for the rest of the week, or I guess weekend. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.